All right, here we go. First, those joining us, welcome in, welcome in. Let's get it. War Day, incredibly exciting. Myself had to get this going, our first live, so that's exciting as well. All right, so we are about 45 minutes before start time at this point. All is quiet in the Last War world. And we're going to start shopping for bases to hit. So let's go shopping. At this point, actually, I have two options for bases to hit. We can go to our versus world and hit our 95 versus opponent. But I'm going to be going to 70 because that is our opponent. So very exciting. This person's already there. 71. They already put their base in. So we're going to start looking for people to hit any red bases without a shield. Let's see. Ooh, I got one. That looks like they've already been cleaned out. So let's keep going. Anybody without a shield? Sometimes before the war, people's shield pops and they hope to get away with it, that people won't notice and they don't have to waste another shield or port around for a while. So this is not uncommon to find people now. Winter Storm, just a tip for people too. Winter Storm was just going, which gives you an automatic shield. So if you stay in Winter Storm for a while, you can get an automatic shield there for yourself. Let's see, we got nobody. Everybody looks like their shield is still intact. Ah, see, I got somebody. I'm shopping. I found somebody. Let's pop in. It's like they were reserving a spot for me. Oh, it's during their alliance exercise. It's a war, but I don't know. I'm not gonna. I mean, listen. I'm cutthroat and all, but I mean, I don't know. See, Deerfly's looking. Maybe Deerfly will hit them during their AE, but I'll let them do their alliance exercise. It's kind of a dirty thing sometimes to hit people during their alliance exercise. It is war though, so all bets are off. At the same point, the person could shield, so if they get zeroed, that's on them. But level 30 base during AE, I'll let them live. Nobody out here. Nobody out here. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But that's only for people that are sitting there next to the capital. So let's see if we can find alliances that did not move. Like here. Nope. All right. And I got nothing. Okay. Nobody. All right. So at this point, since nobody has unshielded, I think it's time to pop in and see if anybody wants to fight. So I'm going to go right in and see if anybody wants them. Just pop into the Warzone. I'm gonna hit the battlefield and see if we can dry anybody out. Sometimes before these wars, you can get some really good scraps going. Um, Other times you cannot. Nobody wants to fight. So really, 70 kind of controls this, to be honest with you. If they stay tight and shielded and they have a specific strategy and they don't want to pop it, they're not going to fall and kind of let us control that. Then um, they can just sit there until 6:59 and not do a thing and let everybody set up and I don't know. Um, I don't. They could not show up at all either. Like there's wars that we've had in the past where servers don't show up, and it gets pretty pretty easy because you're just capturing and you're leaving. So hopefully the fun part of it is when everybody wants to scrap, but it's not for everybody. 70 is an older server. They'll want to fight. All right. So a couple things as we record this and keep going. Um, So in these battles, you're moving around. If you are, so we can get into strategies for different levels. So let's talk. So we talked on our videos about free to play. So here we are, war strategies, free to play. Um, you don't want to have a wall up. Pretty much, you want to manage it to say the least, but you maybe have, like, let's talk, you are early servers. It's difficult for me to talk about mark sizes, because it depends who's going to view the video to take the advice. So I can't really just say, oh, if you have a 30 million march or a 40 million march, it's very difficult to talk about that. I can talk about my current servers and people and what you should be doing by mark size, but I'd rather talk about spend levels, because then you can kind of relay that to yourself to know where you fall in, and no matter where you are in the game, you'll be able to adjust with that strategy. So if you're free to play, excuse me, your strategy coming into the war should be you're going to maintain your wall um, for the most part, where you don't have a wall. You are going to be, you can count on being teleported 70 times. Doesn't matter, right? Like the point that you're playing is you're going to target the people that you can. You're going to target your people. I have to get this, because if I don't, then it'll just jiggle the whole time. You have to target the ones that you can, that are low bases, that you can hit, that you know you can beat. Other people, don't forget, people are going to have their teams out. So if you strategize and you watch somebody and you see them send 3 teams out, number one is watch for that gorilla. You see the gorilla go, then that means their first team's out, right? At least in later servers. Again, if you have a gorilla, if they don't, then you're gonna have to do a little guessing game that is their first squad. And you could study in if you come into their war zone, you could study who they are if they're a higher level. If you really want to see, you come in here and click on their rankings, and in their rankings, look to see their strongest hero power. If their strongest hero is air, then their air team is their number one team. If you're looking here, then that's missile, right? So you can judge by that if the person is really powerful. Oftentimes people get too confident and they send 3 teams out, right? Very few people have like insanely strong fourth team. Like, you're talking about elite people. Um, my even mine is probably around mid-tier spending is probably where my fourth is right now. It's strong, but whatever. But what you want to do free to play is you're going to keep nothing on your wall, and you're just going to look for people who have already sent out 3 that are vulnerable, or that you can just scrap with that are lower level. Because don't forget, if in an exchange, if you have no wall and they try to attack you, their number 1 is out as well. So if you get a low tier base and their number 1 has left the base, you can probably handle their number 2, or you see that you can port them. So when we get all piled up in here, scrapping and porting little bases is in giant help to everybody in the alliance. If you're free to play and smaller, you play a huge role. You're eating up space. You're keeping people busy and occupied, first of all, because it takes them 10 hits to sit there and port you, which takes time. So if you get a lot of bases that people have to sit there and clear and port, if they're doing that, no matter who it is, whether it's a stronger base, a mid-tier base, a high spender, whoever's doing it has to clear you, they're eating up time that allows somebody like myself to go around and shop and look for other things because you've kept them busy. So free to play in this game, you play an enormous part in participating in what you do along the ways. Everybody just, it's not like I expect free to play to come in and port high level people on 70 during this war. Everybody has their part to play. They just have to know it going in, what you're going to do and strategize. If you're just going to go in there with your wall full and you're going to drop into the base and you're going to get hit 4 times as a free to play, your whole drill grounds are going to fill up. You're not going to have speed ups to clear your hospital. Kind of pointless, right? Like, what are you doing? Like, you drag out the war. Like, have no wall, be in it all day long. And by the way, if you're free to play and you have no troops, pop in there anyway, and just leave your base and give something for somebody to hit, because again, it keeps people busy. You're occupying space. So no matter who it is, if you're out of troops, don't just like, in the war is close or the war is still there, stay in it. Just drop your base. Drop your base right in the front. Drop your base here, right where I'm clicking. Like, have them port you out of there. Take up room. Take up space. You still have a role to play. Okay. So that's free to play. If you have, after the video, you want to keep talking about strategies from even from a free to play perspective, by all means, I love it all day. Mid tier, really, it's the same thing as free to play, or I'm sorry, low spender. Like low spender, you're around the same strategy when it comes to this for free to play. You may be able to tackle a little bit higher bases. Your only way you're going to know where your base of what you can and cannot handle is by actually fighting. Like, you have to be in kill events. You have to be, go play Winter Storm, go play Desert Storm. You're going to know. You fight a little bit. You're going to know who you can handle, who you can't handle. Again, in the beginning of these wars, people are pretty, like, you can click and know their power for the most part because they're filled. All their drill grounds are filled. So you know the maximum everybody is. As you get into the war, it's going to get a little bit more dicey because the power, you're not going to know, are they full? Are they half full? Like, I don't know how many troops they have left. So you're going to have to gauge it based on this in low mid tier, but you're really looking for to take advantage, low spender, on even more people that have their bases out, because odds are you have a little bit stronger power than a free to play, which means you can probably handle somebody's like third team, right? So you got to look into that. Like, if somebody sends their top 2 bases out, and you've been a low spender for a while, you can handle somebody's third team, like, that hangs out I'm going to say generally hangs out in the back here, right? Because a lot of times the front power are people that can hang around and they're a little bit stronger. But in the middle of the packs here is where you'll find the majority of your targets in the back. And yeah, just keep scrapping. And that's what I would say. Again, though, like I said, same strategy for free to play, because you probably don't have a ton of speed ups. You're going to want to waste on hospitals and different things that you can afford to. So from a low spender perspective, I would not have anybody on my wall. Manage your wall by all means. Like, I wouldn't sit there and get ported by, somebody who's going to be, I don't know, like 10 million, or somebody who's just a troll base. You don't want to get ported, right? Like, if that's the case. So manage your base. Like, if you see somebody come and they're small and you can actually handle them, then by all means defend. But what I'm saying is, don't stack your wall and act like a tough guy if you're going to lose all your troops, right? If anything, you can. It's okay to I like to call it test battling. You can do it to a test battle where leave your number one in, right, and then have your wall up and see what happens. If you get eaten alive immediately and you're still dropping, then just take it off your wall and don't take the troop loss. Just get ported. And by the way, one thing we need to also mention: free to play and low spender. When you're coming in here, um, you're gonna get teleported out of the war zone. Please use your automatic teleport, and you're gonna have to wait, but don't waste the diamonds. Like you're gonna have to, to move around. It's gonna cost you 1,500 a pop for those, right? And so in a war like this, I have them. I have a bunch of them stocked already. I probably need to go in and grab a couple more. But I was in a hurry to get all this going, so typically out of my strategy. But if you're free to play and low spender, like you're just use the free teleport in and out, right? Like just don't worry about it. Like you're gonna get ported around 70. Like in this case, like I'm in 70 fighting, right? So you get ported, okay, you're gonna get kicked around the map a little bit in 70 somewhere, port back to your server, and right here, just at the top up here, port back to your server, and then port back in wherever you want, and regroup and refight. And you probably want to hang around a little bit because there is that timer clock to go back and forth. It's like 5 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever. So you do want to kind of figure out and drop in a place where you might not be ported immediately, or it could get frustrating for you. Um, I don't know. It's even if I was in a war and people were attacking me and I was getting killed and somebody was chasing after me and ported me, like being ported is part of the game, even for me at certain stages, and I'm okay with it. Like I really don't mind. It's part of fighting. It's all good. You can't be afraid of being ported in this game. If you're afraid of being ported, you are going to be terrible at fighting. Your ego is going to kick in, and the worst thing you could do in this game is fight with your ego instead of your brain because you're just wasting troops. So let's go to kind of that mid tier spender, right? As we go in mid tier spender, you're probably pretty strong. As you're, with a lot of people's seconds and maybe even the majority of like a back people, the population that I was just talking about, the free to play low spenders, you can port all them. So even when they have their troops in, so you can probably clear their bases, right? So your role actually, as even a mid tier spender, would be to um, try to figure out how you could sneak a few hits into the cannons. We're getting into like kind of cannon capital play with mid tier spenders. Like we want you to really, throw a couple here, but they have to make it here. That's the problem. So you got to be good timing. You got to figure out how you can kind of sneak it in, know where you are when you land. Look at what's happening around you. Is there a lot of activity going on? Right. So mid-tier spender, you can actually do some damage, it can enter capital, only if you can land your attack. So if you're out here, it's going to take you a while to launch. If somebody figures out that your number one is just left and you're trying to do damage, you're going to, by the time you get to the capital, or, you're going to get to about here on the battlefield one way or another, and then somebody's going to realize and you're going to get ported, and a lot of good that did, right? Like, so sometimes it's a matter of timing. You have to know where you are, who you're around. Are you around a lot of people that are attacking very heavily, strong? Or are you kind of in a base of people that you can handle, and you've been there for a little bit, so you're kind of a statue, and your base when you're in one spot for a long period of time, your base kind of becomes invisible to people, where they've seen it, they know you're there, like they know you're there, but they can't, if they determine they can't do anything about it, then they just kind of, you blend in. So if you're blending in for a while, then launch those attacks, get them into the cannon, get them in here. If you can drop in, that's the other thing, mid-tier spender, if you get ported out, because again, you will be ported, that's okay. But when you port back in, try to look for a really good spot around the cannon here, over around these areas, like where I am, somewhere in here. Um, and yeah, like I would say start battling start battling and right into the cannon. Just start launching attacks into the cannon, especially if the group, and don't necessarily pick a cannon that you're winning. Like if it's the other team, it's even better. Like if the other the other Warzone has the cannon, that's where you're really going to do good to jump in and start, you know, banging away at whatever's in there to get it out. Now, that's another thing, though. You also want to look if you're hitting the cannon. The capital you don't have to as much, but when you're hitting the cannons, look who's in there. Like for example, on 71, I have like Hulk, and King and Crazy Deerfly. If they were sitting in one of the cannons and you are popping in and they're in there and you're hitting them, yeah, guess what? Don't, because just move on. That's not for you. Like you're not going to do a lot of damage to them at a mid tier level where like your mid tier marches are going to bang into them and kill like 40 of their troops. No good. That's not your spot, right? And if they're in three cannons, then let them be in three cannons. But like I would say own it, that you can actually get one that you can do damage on. There's plenty. If even in our zone, if I have Hulk owns one and CF's in one and King's in another, there's a fourth one that I can get to, right? And if you feel like you can't do the damage in the cannons because you're not doing well, no problem, send it to the capital. And if you can't launch quick into the capital, then you're back into fighting and scrapping in the middle of the packs. No big deal, right? You're just scrapping. Don't worry about the cannon and the capital. To be honest with you, the cannons are more important than the capital early on, depending on your strategies. I don't know. I don't want to get into like when you should be in the capital, when you should be in the cannon right now. It's a whole nother strategy. I'm more talking about what you should be doing on the battlefield right now. Strategies could determine when and where you should be in the capital. Some people are going to say, hey, early on, we're going to make sure we have the capital until 50%. So who knows? Go by what your president tells you to do, or your alliance leaders, and they'll determine if you should be in the capital or cannons. But for the most part, that's what I would do. Just make sure you're looking at who's in those cannons and hitting. If you're not doing a lot of damage, then just bail on it. And by the way, don't just bail on it forever. You can later, in the wars last a long time. So come back. CDF or Hulk or King, they may have left that cannon. So come back and check it out again and see if you're going to hit it, right? Now, high tier, when we're talking in a high spender, you can really, what you should know what you're going to do before this even starts. I shouldn't even have to have this conversation. This should be, for the most part, this should be telling you already. If you are spending a lot of money to play this game and you are a farmer, I can't help you. Like that's a struggle. You should know at this point how to handle yourself on a battlefield because you have a lot and your team's going to depend on you as a high spender to cover a lot of these areas. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time covering what that is. I'll show through my strategies and what I do sometimes, moving around. But you really need to look at, just to go over, you'll look at basically who's in this war zone. You'll take a look at your power against everybody to know who do you have to look out for. Because you're a high spender, there's only a specific amount of people that can hurt you on this in this server. So you are going to look at that, look at the rankings, figure out for yourself who can actually hurt you, who can't hurt you, so you know from a porting perspective who you need to worry about. Then you want to worry about the next level people. Just know where the power stands. And that way I'm able to tell, can I use my first, or can I use my first squad? If my first squad's out, who can even hurt my second squad? You start getting into that and analyzing. So there's a lot of analytical battle that goes in from a high spender before this war starts. Going in, you have to know that ranking system, the top pretty much 20 people who can hurt you, who can't hurt you, what you need to do. Are you going to need to move? Should you have your wall up? Should you not have your wall up? For the most part, it's not like, for me, I'm not going to manage my wall as much during the war based on the amount of people who's there. More I have to worry about necessarily who's around me or who can hit me or hurt me when I'm letting my first two squads go, my top two squads. Because then I might be vulnerable, right? Who knows? Like, you could be vulnerable to be ported. I could be ported by anybody. If I have my three squads out, and I don't have my fourth on the wall, Anybody can come in and zero me out. And that's the point back to the free to play. Here I am, I'm a high spender, and I'm telling you, you can port me. You can port anybody. If you're paying attention to how many squads have left, right? Then go. You can, hey, listen, by the way, not for myself, like it's not an ego thing. I'm saying anybody, any high spender, if you're free to play and you get to port me or anybody else, like put that stuff in your profile. That's kind of cool, right? Like you won an attack. It'll still like it'll just say victory over, and it'll show you the high spender, and you can just put that in your profile because I don't know, it's kind of fun, like to be able to say they won't be able to click in the report to tell that it was an empty wall, and you can just tell your tail that yeah, it was a huge screw up in the battlefield and I took him. Who cares? It just says victory over, and it has it. um I know before I came to server 71, I've had like those reports over people like Crazy Deerfly and stuff like that I look at and have that you port somebody that had nobody in their base and it shows you had a victory. So anyway, high spenders, you don't really know. And I wouldn't expect high spenders or, and whales, oftentimes, just to let you know, if you're looking for a whale, I'm not giving advice to a whale. You don't really need to give advice to whales, to be honest with you. Yeah. If anybody seen that video of the store where you just like buy everything that's under the sun, I don't know what advice you really need for it. But what you'll see them do oftentimes is on servers, VIP 18s, high 17s, they'll often pick a spot near a cannon over here somewhere, and they'll camp out. They'll pick that spot and they'll camp out for the entire war. You'll see it. Um, and sometimes, listen, I could tell you it depends on the player. It could be strategy that's happening and not just laziness. So you may look at it and go, yeah, they just spend money, they don't do anything, they have no strategy, they just sit there and they're not going to move. Okay, that could be your feeling on it, and you could see that a VIP 18 is just sitting near the cannon and they're lazy because they don't have to move, nobody can port them, and that's blah blah blah. But also look at it on a flip side, right? There's two sides of every story. It actually could be strategy. Like going in, they could have got together and said, hey, just go to the right cannon and sit there. And that could be kind of what their strategy is. So I would say, like, don't just think that that's all they're doing is nothing. That could be strategy going in, that they're taking up that spot, they're clearing the cannon, and they're responsible for that. So, there's a lot of strategy. Ooh, hold on. Yes, sir. We got action. Yep. Don't know what's going on, but that tells me troops I can take. Somebody probably didn't realize their shield is down and they're getting cleaned out. This is why you shop around. Shop around before the war. Popped into the war zone hoping somebody wanted to fight. They didn't, so now we'll just clean this person out. This person wants to come reinforce, which is good because they're just going to get cleaned out. I rather kind of slow roll it now because I'm already took majority of their troops. Their drill ground is full, and now they're better for reinforcements. If I can get somebody to reinforce them, I can actually claim more people than just porting this person. So I'm kind of slowed it down a little bit. But nobody else is coming. So oh, now they shield. They probably have no drill grounds. Um, now they shield. So let's come out and see. We got anybody else? Anybody else? Got anybody else? One of my videos to prep for this war, by the way, was to film. Oh, I got another one. It looked like they're already hit. Somebody already cleaned them. One of my prep videos was to fill my hospital. Okay, so now at this point, if you get hit during your AE and you're unshielded during the war and you're this close to wartime, like we're only 15 minutes away. Like this is going to take them to wartime. If you're unshielded at this point, you're just asking for it. So I'm just saying it's no longer any kind of etiquette in regards to that. Like that's just silly. Um, I filled my hospital ahead of time because it's a bunch of extra troops. So I have a bunch in here that are waiting to get cleaned out for me, and so I'll clean this out and grab what I can out of that. And now I have these in here, so I'll just start clocking those and let my team get there and come in and see what that did. Plus, I got to grab a couple. So there we go. I also have my emergency. I'm waiting. I got to empty that out next once we get in. I should have actually done that first, but I forgot that I didn't do it yet. But there are a couple thousand extra troops I'm waiting on. So looks like we got nothing in here. So now let's see. Nobody from 70 wants to play yet, so we'll look around a little bit more. Yeah, but that one, even that one that I found just now, that was a home run. Like, we could look at the battle report real quick. But this person, 200,000, not sure where they land on. That's now because their drill grounds is probably empty. Because I mean, filled their hospital at this point, so they must have had severe, as you could say, in this round. The defending side failed, so you could tell that all these were killed. Their hospital was filled, so they had all their severely wounded were gone, and that's what you want. So if I come in and look at the one like this one, same thing. So they lost 2,200 on this one. And you look at all my reports, eventually their hospital, you got to figure, was probably, they had multiple. It looks like they had two on the wall, so they were losing early on. Like they were losing 5,000, let's say 5,500 every time, which means after my second hit, let's say, their hospital was filled. So then they ate another 7 hits um, after I filled their hospital. So like you got to do that math. Like you figure out what you're doing, the damage you're doing to somebody. Um, but you got to figure that's 20,000 afterwards that I was hitting, right? That I took out of their drill grounds. So their drill grounds probably, right? Is that about right? 12,000 on the second, yeah, by the second hit. So they're probably that last couple. Well, I didn't get the last one in because they shielded, but then I think there were at least. There were probably 7. So actually, it's probably like 35,000 that I hit, troops that I killed after that, which means those were all dead troops. So it's not like their hospital is full, yes, but now in the war, they have probably like 12,000 troops left. So like the reason why I bring it up is not you'll find on here it's not about bragging. Like I don't care. It's not about bragging about what you do. It's more to understand that before the war, the importance of shielding. Like that person, how long are they going to last in the war now with 12,000 troops? If they're only a low spender, mid spender, they don't probably don't have a ton of speed ups that they can sit there and just make 20,000 troops for the war. They were sitting there with full drill grounds and they were waiting to fight. And now they can't. Now, even if you're a mid spender and that happens, you become free to play because you can't produce any troops and you can just plop yourself on the battlefield and do nothing with it. So it's the importance of shielding is why I bring it up. Of don't lose your drill grounds right before the war. It's silly. Your alliance and your war zone depends on you to stay shielded, and especially the fact that shields are free. Like you go into the alliance store, which by the way, right now I would bring that up. I should grab a few more um, teleports just in case, so I have them. But yeah, I mean, your shields are free. You should be in here in the Alliance store. You just use your Alliance contribution badges and grab your 8 hours, grab your 24 hours, 12 hours, all this stuff. It's free, so there's really no excuse. It just becomes kind of laziness when you don't shield for your Alliance, and it shows the amount of care with your team and your war zone. So we are now about 9 minutes away. 70 is still not come out to play, which tells me they're not looking to pop in until the last minute. They don't want any pre-Warzone playtime. So that is okay. That's sometimes how it goes. Oftentimes you can see some war zones um, that are a little stronger want to exchange before for about 20 minutes. So when we do this in the future, you'll see there'll be a lot more activity on the battlefield before war, which is oftentimes why I started this early, 30, 45 minutes before, because I'm on before. I have a whole war routine. I'm kind of sick in that regard. I love this game for the fact it's called Last War, and I love war. I absolutely love the war aspect of it. Anytime we sorry, see what I mean? Get excited because I got you. Got another one. And this is the first time I'm doing this on the computer because I wanted to make the stream as good as I could. I'm trying to get as full screen as I could. So you'll see me click around a little bit. I'm a little slower to the gun on trying to do this than I usually am. Same strategy, but see what I mean? Misclicking. Oh, shields up. Again, shields up after 7 hits. So if you want to look at that one probably that wasn't. They didn't have two on the wall, I don't think, with that one. But did I get to the hospital? Yep, got to the hospital. So there you go. 1,600 lost already. Who knows out of those other ones how many they just lost? Because you know what happened. I know the strategy. They're sitting there saying, "Oh, we're only 7 minutes before the war." So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to save that time, and instead of wasting a shield, I'm going to just sit here and hope nobody notices. People notice. No, people will notice. And if they do, you're going to lose your grill rounds. Is it worth gambling over a few alliance badges? Is that worth it to lose, 10,000 troops? Just either time it better for your shield, where throw that shield up a little bit earlier. Here's another one. It's 34. I'll probably be able to get him with my second over and over again. Yep. Oh, they don't have any troops. That's okay. Still. Yep. See, now they throw up the shield. You're gonna do that shield. You just used it. Like use it before. Why are you waiting? Like it's just it's poor strategy to try to wait until the last minute to do it. Even if you're free to play and you're looking at it and you're saying, yeah, but I don't want to waste the badges if I don't have to. I get it. So time it better on when you're throwing your shields up. There's 8 hours now, 12 hours, 24 hours. There's all different ones to use. Just time better when you're using your shield. There's really no excuse. It's just poor play to get hit. Here's another person that's about to get hit. Ah, this computer misclicking is gonna be that to me. All right, this person popped in next to me like they're gonna hit me. Cool. Maybe get some action going. Or they just accidentally did that. Yeah, they got nothing left. They got nothing left. All right. So they're cleaned out. They're cleaned out. Thanks for playing. Let's see. Anybody else we can get? Anybody else who wants to wait until the last minute to not shield? Okay, okay. And then, by the way, there's just going to be a lot of what. Oh, there we go. And now they shielded. So poor strategy. All right. Okay. I think we are already in. So now let's see people who are. Whole lot of nothing going on. So I'm gonna come over here. Actually, FS4 I think was supposed to be up. Not sure what Shaka Zone because I think FS4 is up here. Over here, bro. And typically before the war, you'll see like a bunch of alliances that are all pack in, part of the strategy, like who's going to be where. You can tell right from before the war, so you can read that. Sure, exactly what Shaka's doing. But okay, we have a minute and a half left, so I mean this whole strategy here is not a good. This is a not a good strategy. Is all I can tell you from a alliance perspective. Like, all right, we have another person in here. There's nothing on the battlefield, so I don't know. I'm gonna start pecking people off that are waiting over here because. All right, we'll wait. We only got a minute, but it's a poor strategy. Like you. The one thing you can't do as the defender is allow the attacker to dictate the terms of the battlefield. You don't want that because already they have the advantage. They can pop in whenever they want. And so what you really want is you want to get there early as defenders and stock everything up and start fighting. Now I understand for them that they can't really do that because okay, like I get it. Like you have CDF on the battlefield, you can't just have everybody sitting out here because you can clean everybody out. That doesn't mean your strategy is just let this happen because this means the war's over, which maybe they just said, hey, we're not going to fight. What you can still do is land and pick people off during a battle. I can tell you right now that if 70 had recruited me and I was with 70, there is no way QB would not be fighting right now. There's zero chance. I would 100%. I would 100% be fighting. I would have been out here early. I would have been hitting people. I would have been trying to avoid people like CDF and whatever, but I would have been fighting. So it's yeah, sad to see like these good for these folks because clearly the strategy was to not win, but just get some rewards. Um, but fight, like, I don't know, like, yeah, even if you're gonna lose, like, still, like, fight, right? So, okay, I'm taking off. I'm going over here because this is where the action's at, and I'm a sucker for action, so don't want to see that anymore. This is, but this person, and I'm gonna send 2 out. I'm gonna leave my first at home just in case. I don't want to sit here and get too cocky with it, so I'll leave my first there, and then I'll try to just see that person's coming at me thinking, hey, you might not have anybody at home, but that's not true. I do. So I'm gonna attack both at once, and just this person's doesn't have nobody has a wall up, which is fine. But I mean, you can't port people, so um, look to see who this is coming in hot, coming in hot. And since they have no wall, now I'm gonna send everybody out. Okay, so there, which means come back in, and I got everybody still going out. So get everybody back, and let's see what we got going on here. This is the only action, which is right here. Okay. I'll wait for the first hit and see if there's no wall up. If there is no wall, then he's gonna get my fourth as well. He took off. Up, he went over here, which is cool. Good move by him, except for the fact I can do that, and I'll just port you here. That. Let's see. Yep, wall. So took some hits there. Strategy we all right, cool. Got something going on here. So I can plop right in the middle of it. This is the person I think I already ported them before. So let's see if they have a wall. Yep, they got their wall up. No problemo. So let's see if they keep that wall up. All right. Sorry, I was like trying to decide my strategy of what I wanted to do next. So I was letting things come back. I wasn't sure if maybe I wanted to hit them. We got a couple bases. I can't fit, so I think they'll probably be good. Let's see if there's a clump. Do like the clumps. All right, let's come over here. Send this guy over there. It'll take some time, but they took off. Okay, no problem. Let's send him over there. Let's send him over there. Oh, even better. There. Zeroed that one. We're going this way. Number 4. Come over here. 3. That looks like it's a waste of time because it looks like they're covered already. So suck that back in. This one, though, did get it. So I'm in here. So I'm gonna hit this person and try to clean this out. Really, guys, at this point, like you're looking at this where it's kind of it's really just a no-show, to be honest with you. Like this is a no-show from anybody. Like there's like 3 um, red bases that are even to you have to seek out fighting in this war because there's nobody that wants to fight. Everybody's just getting their points. Um, they've uh, they've just decided that they're not going to fight the war, which I'll tell you right now. I've been there. Like I'm on my 4th server, so I've been there where your server is outnumbered and it's hard to win a war. But and every single one of those servers, I've never missed a server war. I've never not fought. So um, a little crazy that we have this many people that are kind of stationed on this server that don't fight. Here is their big guy right here. Oops. So I tried to come in and see if I could take him out. Not to be. Um, no problem. Let's come over here. Oh, person took off. Another one right here. Send it over there. Send a couple here. There's just slim pickings for fighting, to be honest with you. I'm going to come back and fight their number 1 guy in a second because there's nobody else to fight around here. Just cleaning bases. I just don't even know anymore. Like they get so cleared. It's where, and by the way, I mean we're already 20%. We're already 20% in. 31 minutes. Typically, you can see people fighting at the cannons. There's probably not a whole lot to do at even the cannons at this point. King isn't at this cannon. He's probably got somebody there. So I'm gonna go risk it for the biscuit because it's kind of crazy. There's nothing going on. So we'll head over here. This person. But at this point, they're just getting points. So oh, here comes somebody. Cool. Maybe this is their top guy. Hope so. Nope. But at least it saves me from moving. I'm going to launch my 4th because you have no wall. So let's get 4 going here. A lot quicker that way. All right, let's see. Where are we going? There any clump anywhere? No. No, nothing going on. There's nothing, nobody here. I can try to come in and plop into a cannon and see what happens. So let's see. I mean, at this point, I'm looking for somebody to hit me at this point. So, oh, that was worth a comment. He told me where the main guy was. Where's he at? Oh, he must have left. He must be moving around. So I am in cannon, but there's not going to be much action happening here because there's nobody over here. Let's see. There's a good clump. See over here? Where is the main? Where is the main man? They have their top guy is in the server is much stronger than me. He is very strong. So I'm trying to find him. I certainly wouldn't mind getting in battle with him at this point. But I don't see him. Sure if he took off or what. But yeah, I don't see him anywhere. Let's see if we can draw him out. Usually hitting the president will draw. Oh, just got ported. So it's only looking for a 35 base is where I'm trying to find to see if maybe he plops somewhere. But I don't see him. He may have could have packed it in for the day too. No clue. So nobody there. Nobody home. Oh, I used up my free teleports, so I gotta send my guy home. I could just port back instead of waiting, so I could just port back. Where's it gonna port in? Right here. There's 3, so seems as good as any. But by the time I get here, my guess is that, oh, sweet. And sometimes, by the way, when you fight, you don't always get, like, if you're looking to fight a lot, you don't always get kills. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Like, if you're sitting in a cannon and, people sometimes are worried about, like, they want to be at the top of the leaderboard for a war. I don't care if I'm at the top of the leaderboard ever after a war for kills. For me, I want to know if my server won the war. That's all I care about. Did we win as a server? And if I wanted to, you can camp out in a cannon and defend that cannon and only do that. And don't even teleport anywhere. Don't move. just sit here and I want to let me move. Do I have troops out? Huh. There's a glitch because it should let me move right here and it won't. Okay. Um, Let me move here. Huh. So what I was gonna say is like sometimes you have to play your like role. Like for me, if I'm porting, if people it happens to me all the time. Like people will see me coming around, and if they're managing their wall properly, they might let me port them, right? Well, my job isn't to sit here and necessarily then get your kills. My job is to remove you from the battlefield. So I may not get kills in that, and that's okay as long as I remove you, because that helps the server. That's the point. Everybody needs to play their role. If you're gonna just sit in a cannon, your role might be to defend a cannon and collect win or collect kills at the cannon, where people often can get points and they go and attack, and that's okay. Um, Sometimes that's what you do, but you don't. To be honest with you, you just don't worry about, well, at the end of the day, if you're number one or you're participating by the actual kill count. Sometimes it's clearing bases, and that's what you want to do. Ooh, there's somebody. It's pretty strong. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. You're gonna get my number one. HSB in the house. Get him, HSB. All right, done. All right, let's keep it moving. And by the way, the other thing is, don't go hitting the wrong team. Like they've made it so easy to see whose basis is what at this point of the stage of the game. There's really no reason to hit the wrong team. Like it can happen. Like believe me, you cannot be paying attention and send something to the um, wrong area. But for the most part, um, it's not. Let's. I'm gonna tell you right now. Are these people not shielded? Because I'm gonna start going over here to hit people if I see people aren't shielded. Um, yeah. Okay. Like just fight. Like fight or shield. That's my biggest thing. So I was saying like sometimes you can't tell just based off of kills, right? If how somebody's participating. If it was just based off of kills, with our strategy that we talked about before, there may be a bunch of free to play players that can't kill a lot of people. They're what their role is. So are you going to say that they didn't participate in the role in the war because of the standings? Don't be a slave to those to the standings after a war to know about participation. If you are trying to figure out, if you're an early server, I've gone through this. If you're trying to figure out whether somebody is participating in a war or not participating in a war, then don't be lazy about it. Like take your time and actually take screenshots of the war. Take screenshots of every section of every war zoomed in, take some video of the war and like reflect on it later, who showed up and who was there. That's how you can really tell. If you just want to be lazy and go, "Oh, you didn't show up in the standings, so you must not have been participating." That feels like crap if you were a free to play player. When they were there the whole time. They were there for 2 hours, but you're just looking at a standings that they can't kill anybody. Or, they can kill people, just not as many. Like their troops die. So they participated, but they may not be in the top 10, may not show up, but were there the whole time. So just don't be a slave to to the after war standings to necessarily tell people's impacts. Because it could just be the role that they played. And if you're an early alliance or early server trying to get more activity, I would say like make sure that you are um, make sure that you are really paying attention if people are participating or not. So, and it's the hardest thing to do, to be honest with you, especially in an early server, is to get people to participate in the wars. You got to figure everybody is operating at different times. So they have family times. It's on the weekend. It could be during the day, during the night. So when you're pulling this game together and you're first starting, understand your audience and what you can and cannot do, um, of who's going to participate and who's not, and know that you 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 can't sometimes go to every single one if you have stuff going on, right? So sometimes try to make one war a month, or two wars a month, to show your server that you're participating. um, but part of the game is in being a strong server is having to have server participation. So also understand from that perspective that um, if you're on a server, they're looking for you to participate during the weekend, and yeah, it is giving up some of that weekend time. um, and so know that that's part of the gig, is you're gonna have to like participate in that, or just be in a light alliance and you're not gonna play and be in a strong server. I would just find a weaker server where you can play this game. There's plenty now where they call them like dead servers, but it may be the type of play that you're actually looking for. You're actually seeking out dead servers. So um, where that's the fun game for you. Where in the Warzone, you don't have to worry about an alliance that's going to harp on you to participate, or a server that's going to participate, or um, or have to worry about hitting versus numbers and going in. That may be your gig. If that's your thing, then by all means, I would say do that. I keep losing power because I keep landing on landmines, um, which is all good. I'm getting up there on my hospital, so let me clear this and start the next hospital. Um, I was about to go over there. So I'm getting you some action just by finding these people that are not shielded. I don't know what's going on back here. They got some kind of wall going on. They're building. Um, looks like action though. Somebody's got it though. I'm not going to spoil their fun. Here we go. Somebody just sitting here thinking they can chill out. Nope. Not on my watch. And they don't want to even put up their wall. So cool. No problem. I'm with you. Okay. Make a move. Make a move. Somebody here, chilling in the middle of the pack over here. Let's give them some action. Make sure that they're busy. They got nobody on their wall either. Again, when you're in a war, if you're not going to participate, or you can't participate, or you're going to be on the outside and you're going to be fighting like this, then shield, or go find another place. Like if you're just going to be around here, you're a target. You are a target to get hit. Um, I just moved to this server, right? So for any of you that have been following along, I actually, in my account, go look at my other videos why I ended up in this server. But it's weird for me having to get used to um, hitting not hitting 71, because I've been at war with them for so long during the my over 600 days playing this game. So I don't know who this person is, but they look like they are very strong. I don't know what they're doing. Okay. Maybe they're trying to get points. By all means, I'm here for you. I'll help you out. That's what you're looking for. I'll be right with you, sir. 1 second. I'll finish that and now I can help you out. Did you need something? There you go. Looking for some attention. You got it. Oh, good. I have some help. Somebody else is going to pop in and help them, which is good because I'd like to move about the cabin. This person doesn't have a wall anyway, but they were attacking me, so I'll take the points. Yeah, so it's weird for me seeing 71 and not hitting them because I've been playing this game for so long, for 600 days, and I was originally 72, so we were at odds with each other for a long time. So they were well aware of who I was, and I was well aware of who they were, and yeah, I do have some screenshots of early on when I was only a 21 and CDF was a 26 of us bantering back and forth. Um, that's how long we've been playing. So seeing them now and not hitting them is something that I have to get used to. This is my first war on 71, but all right, done. Let's move about. Let's see what else we got. By the way, this new view that you can tell who's shielded and not shielded is so awesome. Like I love it's so much easier to tell who's shielded and not. Big fan of this new view. Used to be so much more work early on when I was playing. My first couple 100 days. Actually, it hasn't been that long that they've done this, so it's probably like 500 days, 400 days. You didn't have this aerial view to tell who was bubbled and who's not, and you had to get way closer to the bases to tell and scan the fields. And I'm used to doing it because it's all I used to do. So I really don't care at this point. I just want war. Like just fight. And we're probably getting close to the end of war at this point. I'll go check where we are. Because the other thing I'm not going to do is worry about these guys. Oh, we still got 12 minutes. Yep. Yep. All right. Let's pop in here. We got a couple. Nope, just one. 33 base. All right. Anybody back in the field? I still cannot find that number one guy again. Left and shielded, I think. I should have took the advantage of staying where I was when he was there and he. Oh wait. Oh nope. And he didn't have his troops out. Oftentimes, I'm thinking like more strategically, like somebody of his size. I'm going to check to see if he has his main march out, but he was protecting, so I couldn't do much. But if I known that was my only chance to see him, I would have hit him more often. But um, I think we're just folks are wrapping up. I don't think there's anybody else. Let's see if we can find it. Take one more swing around to see if there's anybody else. Yep. Spoke too soon. Got one. Always when you're playing, by the way, more like I've been getting hit that often, so I haven't had to maintain some of these things I normally would, which was hospital. Make sure you're looking at that constantly throughout a battle, to see where you are to start. And if you are free to play, um, what you want to do is, or low spender, you want to be fresh in that hospital every like 1,000 or so. You want to do it because then you can do it for free. Like your alliance is, most of your alliance is on right now, so these badges pop up here. And it's hard for me because I'm streaming with you guys, but normally I'm constantly clicking the help button. Um, and your alliance can help you just heal for free, right? And then that's your best way. So if you're maintaining it at every 1,000, 2,000, like at a clip, you're doing it, then you can do it for free, and you don't have to worry about um, using your speed ups and things like that. No, no big deal. But it's incredibly important. It saves you so many speed ups because if you sit there and wait until you're 8,000 or 12,000 or something like that, then yeah, you're gonna be in trouble. So you're gonna have to waste speed ups or something. So it's okay to bail sometimes as a strategy for yourselves. What you may want to do is really just bail on the war completely. Just go out if you've been on the field for a while and you're trying to heal, and just sit for a few minutes and just do it 1,000 at a clip, because it's hard to maintain that and try to do that with your hospital while you're fighting a war, right? So just pop out free to your original server, heal up real quick your hospital, and then yeah, just pop back in. No big deal. But at least you won't be wasting your speed ups when you don't need to. All right. Oh, there we go. We got something going on here. A couple people that unshielded. It looks like I'm out of teleports already. Which um, man, normally I'm not having to teleport around this much just to find fighting. Like this is just to um, stay busy and fight. So during the war, um, looks like this person. I'm gonna let Angel have that. Looks like Angel's got that covered. Nope, Angel's going in. All right. Then gonna have to get rid of that 15 here. That 15 is about to be Fat Zero. I'm gonna have Fat lose some weight right now because zero him right out. All right. And what are we at? Where are we at? 7 minutes, 6:48. Um, well, for a first stream, unfortunately, like this was a tryout today. I'm happy that it stayed up. Everyone good. It'll be a good test. Unfortunately, you didn't see a great war. Hopefully, you got some good tips from myself. But I was not able to provide you with an incredibly exciting war because we are about to beat 70, 100 to 0. So I will check in with my team in a couple minutes because if we have friends and we're going to support, a lot of times I didn't even check, but if we come into the server here, the server grouping, sometimes, most times in the server grouping for the Warzone, when you hit grouping, you're allowed, see, you can go into these other servers, um, and you could help somebody fight a war. I'm not sure if we are going to be participating, um, so I do have to wait to find that out. But um, I think. I'm gonna find that out right now. So let's see. Easy for me to do. Fighting and anything else. Let's see. Entirely sure if we're gonna be or not. I'm just gonna ask the president if we're fighting any other servers, so we can know if this is gonna be it. Otherwise, we are 4 minutes away from done, and I think, to be honest with you, it looks like 70 would be happy if that were the case. To be honest with you, it looks like 70 has had before the war started. It looked like 70 had just about enough, um, and now you just have people that are picking away getting points. Um, so we are done. Let's see. The answer is no one asked, so I don't think so. Okay, so looks like we're done. Once we get victory, I think we are out. Waiting. Everybody, it looks pretty shielded up at this point or zeroed out. 71 did an amazing job, to be honest with you. I mean, the support, by the way, people came out. Like right now, a lot of people have taken off at this point, so don't judge the participation necessarily based on this. But even this, I mean, pretty good. I mean, we're five deep at the end when no fighting is around right now, and all around. Okay. I mean, granted, like, listen, I'm not trying to paint it. You know, people show you pictures. I love this YouTube thing because it is quite funny. You say something and somebody will show you a picture and they'll say, "You want participation? I'll show you participation." And they'll show you like this giant surrounded the whole server. And yeah, I get it. But I'm saying for a server, at the end of a battle with only 2 minutes left and a lot of players, free to play, low spenders. See, you just had somebody take off. Like, look at the people that are taking off. Like, they already got their points. They got their points. They're trying to just go spend the time with their family for their Saturday, or maybe it's late at night. For some, it could be 2 in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, I can go back to bed." So this doesn't necessarily the fact that I'm pointing out that the fact that there's this many people here with only 2 minutes left. These are all our server folks, and they're still here. Shows you we had good participation for this war, which is great to see. First war here, and it's great to see that people were out in full force. So, um, special thanks. So we have, yep, and we have our VIP 18s chilling. You got Crazy Deerfly chilling here. You have Hulk, I'm sure, is around somewhere. I see King is here, almost VIP 18, and I know the Hulkster is around here somewhere. I don't see him. Very exciting. I'll bring to you an update once Hulkster gets his VIP 18 base, which will be soon. There he is. Boom. Still attacking. Um, awesome. Yeah, guy is awesome. Um, but I think yeah, we are some people popping in actually right now. It was empty, and now people are coming, and I'm not sure if people are trying to get points. It could just be a point grab at this point. Yeah, it's 100%. It's over. So all good. And there you are. 20 prestige, triumphed over 70. Hunger and roll will expire in 6.5 days. All right. So when we look, just give you everybody an update here who was watching for our Warzone Duel. Capital War will look like this. Match info. So 70 was beat by 71. We are 71. We move on. And now we can see, I don't know what's happening with the rest of these folks. My guess would be, we can go in and take a look. From the 80, my guess is this battle is on 110. So let's go take a look to see who's winning that. That already just that just ended as well. Yep, 81. So there's no surprise there. So we will be fighting 80 next. That will be our next live war stream. Then we had 81 fight 119. I really, I think this is kind of a waste to even look at because I'm quite sure 81 won. Um, Yeah, 81's up. The fact 119 got 2.7% is surprising to me. 81 is very strong. So 81. So 81 will move on in this bracket, and then we have 100 versus 79. If I had to get 100 is probably handling 79 would be my guess. So let's take a look. It's probably similar to over. Yeah, 100. Look at that, 79. Oh, 79. 79 is scrappy. We fought them. See more. I did appreciate 79. We had a lot of back and forth when I was on 88 with 79. So shout out to 79 people. You are very scrappy. Great wars and stuff. Hold no resentment toward anybody after a season happens. And as you can see, probably outgunned and outnumbered here. But the fact that they keep going back and forth, hanging into this war, good for them. Good for 79. Um, they're a scrappy bunch. So this is technically not decided yet. There's still 23 minutes left in this one. So 79 could easily come back in this war and win. This is, I got to tell you, I geek out over this stuff, like these wars, like even watching this stuff. That's why I don't mind doing the YouTube live. Other people like find this to be entertaining because I'm entertaining by just this right here. This entertains me. This could be a TV show in itself where I could watch other servers and kind of clean my kitchen and do like housework while this was going on in the background. That's fine with me because this is like I've seen servers come back from this, like 23 to 52. It tells me 79 is in it because 23% they've been able to hold it. They just took it over right now. So 79 is now holding it, which tells you they're in this fight still. That's a sign of if you're still in it, right? If you are able to take it over this late, there's been 67% put on here, I'm sorry. I'm awesome at math. You'll find that out as we progress. 77% has been put up in this war, and 79 is still hanging around where they're taking it over and capturing. So awesome. Um, I gotta tell you, I can't help but cheer a little bit for 79. Um, Again, probably because I was in season with them, where we fought 88. We had like early battles, like really good battles, like back and forth, back and forth. There's some people on there like Skippa, really strong, and I have nothing but appreciation for those folks because they're fighters. And any server that's like scrappy and fighting like that, I love it. Whether you win it, you don't win it, whether you could slaughter somebody, but like today, like 70 kind of didn't show up. You know what I mean? Like you saw, there was a spattering of people. They didn't really show what you're going to win or lose. Like then at least coordinate and all come in and lose together. Like throw one big battle and try to fight for a percent of the capital or something. I would have. I wouldn't have lost my drill grounds not being shielded. I would have rather lost my drill grounds throwing it at somebody. I don't care. I would have thrown a CDF. It doesn't matter. Throw it at somebody. But 79 is definitely a together server. They have a lot of good alliances, a lot of good teams. And they were recruiting. They had some good recruiting this offseason in the chat, which I enjoyed. So shout out, good special shout out to 79. Enjoy them. So just the players involved. Let's pop in here. I don't want to get too close. I don't want them to think like I'm interfering, and then my server gets hit because QB got involved with our server fight and he shouldn't have been here. Let's just pop on the server. I'm gonna pop way out here, just so we can peek in and nobody thinks I'm involved with this. So let's play. I can tell you the players involved a little bit more in this because I like it. I like how close this is. This is probably their top player right here, Killer. So we'll take a look and see the players involved. Let's look at the total hero power. So you got Killer, so 285, 243. Just to give you an idea for myself, I'm 232. So these three have higher hero power than even me. 220 hero power. That's pretty good. You're still running around probably a first team of 60 something. Actually, I think Yo has a 70 million air unit. Probably his second and third suffer, which is why he's 220. But you come down here and then a little bit of a drop, right? So they have three really strong players here though that can participate. Let's take a look now to see 79 and what they bring to the table in regards to elite strength. And I'll tell you why I'm looking at elite strength in a minute. It's not to ignore everybody else because it's not true. Look at this. So Skippa and 18. So this is what I'm gonna say about 79, and you can see it now, right? The rankings that I just showed you, they are heavily outpowered with the elite strength at the top here. And so was 72. Even more slanted was our 71 versus 70. But this right here, 79, is overpowered. Yet not only participating with a percent, they are in this war, and that is down to participation. The only reason why I show you elite strength, and the reason why I focus on this here in the beginning for a battle, is because you want to see if when somebody owns the capital, how much effort is it going to be to get somebody out of that capital to take it over, right? Because oftentimes when they talk about whales and people that are that high powered, like Killer, who's going to be in here, right? Who was using, this is a purchased account anyway. This actually was, I believe, this was the person on 91. I believe the strongest person on 91. So this is a purchase account, but regardless, it's big. And if we look again at the rankings, the reason why I look at elite rankings is because if he's sitting here with 285 hero power, camped out in the capital, then somebody from 79 has to have the power to remove him, or else this war is pointless. How much is it going to take to remove him? So the hero power 79 has somebody around here. They don't even have somebody as high as these two. But you know what they do have? They have heart, war, and participation. That's what they have, and so that's why 79 is scrapping, and they're in this. It looks. Oh, again, like, shame on me. I was about to write them off because they weren't. It looked like I think there was like 7-8% that was taken over. So the other thing I'll just touch on, that the thing you look on these wars here, and like a good fight in a good capital war, the thing that you need to do when you're outpowered and you're outmanned like 79 is with those elite fighters, is you want to take over these cannons, right? If you give 100 the cannons, and they have the capital, and they have elite strength more than you, you can't get them out of here just by hitting. You can, but it's going to cost you a lot of troops and speed ups, and like your server's going to eventually wear down, which I would be surprised if 79 didn't wear down. But the cannons offer immense help. So you can see here, 79 had this cannon a minute ago, now CFO, so they're battling for this cannon, which is incredibly important in this war. So I'm going to look around and look. So 100 has this cannon, and 79 has this cannon, and then 100 has this cannon. So right now, 79 is a little bit behind the 8 ball if they can't take more cannons. So just having, 100 took this one as well. So it looks like they're struggling to control the cannons. And this is why they might be wearing down. They did take this one over. So they're still in it. But if you're gonna like 79 needs to control, there you go. So they took over this one. So I was gonna say 79 has to control at least 2 cannons to stand a fight. And you can see there is a battle. And this is where again, low spenders, mid spenders, you popping in and hitting these cannons right now is huge because these are scraps. These folks are scrapping fighting right now. This is exciting stuff. So having this cannon, and I have not seen this one change hands yet, which, I do see Skippa hitting it though, and Skippa is their strongest right here. So they must have somebody strong over here. Let me just make sure nobody's interfering with this war either, by the way. It looks just like 79 and 100, which is good. So let me come back to the cannon. So there it is. There he is. Skip is incredibly strong. So he's coming over here, taking over this cannon. 79 now, they have 2 cannons. 79 has 2 cannons. Okay. But we've seen all of these cannons change hands. So the magic number is for if all of a sudden 79 takes over 4 at once, then they're in business. Sometimes in these battles, and listen, I understand you look at this and you're like, QB, this is a waste of time. You're just trying to make for interesting live content. I'm telling you, I'm not. If something's not interesting, I will be the first one. You'll learn. I am honest. I'm not looking for people to necessarily watch crap. Like essentially, the war that I was in, I tried to make exciting and pop around and fight because that wasn't an exciting war. And this is what I love being in. Like this right here, this environment is great. I wish I could be involved with this war. But my president said no. We are not. We are not interfering. And I wouldn't want. I don't know. I would love to help 79. I do like 79. But you look over here, and this is not over. So 79 just took it over. And so the reason why I'm going to tell you it's not over and why exciting. So oftentimes early on in these scraps, it's a battle of speed ups and willpower. And the difference at some point swings to it's no longer about the elite people and the high spenders. And it's really about in these grinding efforts, it's about how much participation you can get and mid spenders and free to play that's clogging up and eating time for everybody in this middle here. If you can overpopulate because you're trying to win cannons, sure, they only have a couple elite people that could be here, and they can't have the elite people both clogging the cannons and the capital. So that's probably what they're struggling right now for 100 is where do they put their elite power? Do they put it in their cannons or do they put it in their capital? And to protect against 79 because they keep losing the cannons. So elite, it's really an out participation. So if 79 can overpopulate more of these people, then yeah, they can still overtake them. They can, let's see, the cannons. What do we got? We got 79 has this cannon, 100 has this cannon. What do we have over here? 100 has that cannon, and 79 has that cannon. Here we go. All right. Oh, that's not, yeah, I mean, that's not wise. Like, see, Jack is in the middle of this battle, or, just even sitting here. They can confuse, if somebody looks around, they can confuse that we're participating in this war just from seeing us. So I would not support sitting in the middle of this pile right now. since our president said that we shouldn't be involved with this war. So I am where I am, out of the picture, so people don't think I'm involved. Um, you have 79 with 2 cannons. 79 is now 3 cannons. So I would guess that they're going to take over this capital pretty soon, given that they had. Oh no, they it's switching fast. If you look, like 100, you can see at the top. Um, and if you excuse me for my excitement on this stuff, because I really do get excited about it. But look at this, like 100's here, 100's here at the top of the Capitol, and they have this, right? So this is a good view to show you, like, can I scan out to just show you the Capitol and all 4 guns, or cannons, I should say. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So that's 100. That's 79. This one on the right here. So on the bottom right, looks like we are 79. Bottom left is 100. Top left 100. Top right 79. So 79 is at 2. And I'm just going to track 79 because they took over the Capitol. But again, it's all going to go based on this. They have 3. They have 3. Oh, they had 3. They have 2 now. They have the East Cannons, both East Cannons. All right. You have the West Cannons are still both 100, and the East Cannons are still owned by 79. So again, I told you when I was looking at this earlier when I first saw it that by no means did 100 take this yet, this battle. And as you can see, it's still incredibly close. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. I'm wondering though, 1, 2, yeah. So now 100. Oh, so 100 has the both north cannons and both south cannons are 79. Skippa, good job, man. Good job by Skippa at the bottom, at the southeast cannon. Good job by him. He stationed himself there, and he has completely controlled that cannon for a while, if you've noticed. So really, shout out to Skippa on controlling that cannon. All these other cannons I keep watching flop, and 79 now has 3 cannons. The only one they don't have is the Northwest. So you don't control the cannons. Sometimes you don't control the war, and these cannons up here right now, you still have 3 cannons that are maintaining strong with 79. And now they took the capital. 79 is swinging this war, folks. This is good stuff. All right, so the 79 did lose, right? Bottom right cannon. However, I think that's the least of their concern because Skippa can take that right back over. I would not worry about that. They have. It also looks like, by the way, that the north left cannon must be with Killer or somebody because that's been under CFL control for quite some time. So my guess is there is a large body in that cannon. But I'm going to watch this bottom right cannon. My guess is that's going to be taken over by 79 pretty quick because Skippa has been on top of his game. And it may take, like, if they put an elite person in there, Killer or somebody, could take him some time. He'll take a couple hits. But once he does, I mean, like, Killer is way over here. Even if he was trying to occupy the cannon down at the bottom right, it would take him a long time to get there. So 79 they're back to, let's see, 79 only won right now, though. So they have the main capital, which is great for them. But there it is. Skippa took the bottom right again. It's not Skippa, but I'm just saying, whoever takes it over, I can assure you that it's because Skippa's right next to it, throwing heavy bodies into it, heavy squads to zero it out, and then they can retake it over. So they have only 2. They still have the main Capitol building. Take a look at how many. I'm gonna just. What's interesting for this is let's kind of take a look at how many squads killer is throwing. So got a little blip.